I am your main man, Anderwood, and today we will be revisiting the Dungeons and Dragons character class, Cleric. Now, the Cleric is a lot of things, but clearly, first and foremost, above all, he is an automatonic healbot. That's right, a Cleric is a worthless piece of trash that's just there to heal the rest of the party for no praise at all, and they certainly won't start worshiping your god, because they will worship whatever bitch-ass god they decided to put on their character sheet at the start of the game that they pay very, very little attention to. Now, if you've played in this style of game, I immediately suggest not playing with these people anymore. The Cleric should never be such a thing, should never be so base, so low, so pathetic. It's essentially tote around like some NPC piece of trash. A Cleric should be the spiritual advisor, the leader. And in fact, if your party, the Cleric is playing right, everybody else in the party should probably be worshiping his god by about 2 months into the campaign. From his proselytizing, his force of personality, his strength, his courage, his conviction. Yeah, he's a badass, and he's your badass, and you're glad to have him there. That's right, the Cleric has all kinds of spells that can be designed to seriously beat down another individual. The fighter will turn around and see the Cleric has taken out more foes than he has. That's right, bull strength, a big mace, and a heavy-ass shield with plate mail. You could fight just as well as that fighter every single day of the week, especially the one that's named after your god. Twice as well then. So, the Cleric has a great arsenal at his disposal. When you're playing a Cleric, one thing you do, I'm going to stress this, I talked about this in a video before, because I've seen this over and over again, until I want to just pick furniture up and drop it over someone's head, until they're concussed and comatose. The reason being, it shits on the whole complete idea of fantasy. The absolute worst thing. Absolute worst thing you can have. And again, see back to healbot Cleric. Think about that for a minute. Now, think about that same player. Has he even bothered to put anything under the deity slot? Of course not. That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter when you're playing 5-foot hexes and just healing up some people. Maybe throwing a whole person spell out there just to mix things up. Oh man, I'm telling you, that sort of character is abhorrent. Do not play this character when you have a Cleric. The number one thing you should be thinking about is who is your god? Who is your divinity? Why do you worship him? What do you worship him? How do you perform for him? What is the dogma? What is the church about? What are the factions, the cults, the sects within your organization, within your church? Why have you selected this church? Is your faith wavering? Are you the most pious? How pious are you? Are you just barely a priest? Do they just barely give you spells? Or, boy, are you on your road to sainthood? That's right. Your Clerics are the people who become saints. Sometimes people bring this point up. Man, the Paladin's a real dick because he's pushing things around. The Cleric should be way more so. Way more so. The Paladin is just a bitch-ass fighter with smite. Cleric is the tongue of the god. It's the tongue of the god. He is the most faithful. He has been given tremendous bounty of blessings. Look at the spells he has at his disposal. Look at turning undead. Look at domain powers, specialty priest abilities, the ability to only use bludgeoning weapons. Whatever you want to look at, the god has invested so much time in a Cleric, much more than they have with a Paladin, who just has a sliver of divine insight, might, and strength to bring to bear. The righteousness of the Cleric is something you truly should fear. The other party members I went back and mentioned earlier, why should they follow along with the Cleric? First of all, your Cleric has a person of unbelievable faith. Look at the tremendous zeal we have in our own real world of people of different religions and how our God is real. We're going to proselytize. We're going to believe. We're going to go ahead and put ourselves in some really dangerous situations because we have belief. Belief is powerful. Belief is sexy. And belief is damn awesome when your God is definitely for real because you can cast a whole person, bull strength, and cure light wounds. That is a lock. How much more does this person believe? In fact, they don't believe at all. Belief is irrelevant because belief implies something could be questioned, could be untrue. They know. So does everyone else. Now, when you know, how much more conviction is that Cleric going to have? Yes, My God is right, real, just, and this is the way. And they heal you. Your wounds that are gushing blood, broken bones, punctured lungs, fractured skulls. All these things go away. The bruised muscle tissue, the gashes turn to bruised muscle tissue, turn to perfectly fine flesh under the healing light of his power. Describe it. Always sell your spells. Describe them. Describe how it feels. Healing spells can feel very different. Maybe a war priest healing spells feel like a cortisone shot you get in the middle of a football game. Maybe the priest of love gives you this amorous feeling or this warmth inside that's like you've been given a big hug. Think about the different ways based on what the god is, how your spells can feel, how they can interact, how they can be different, how they can put a stamp of you and your god upon them. And then take the person. After you've healed them up, don't go, oh yeah, it's fine. Take them. Have them pray with you. Over and over again, pray with you. Put over the virtues of your god, why they should believe. And if they don't, if they really push off not, my God has come to you, has helped you, has aided you, yet you turn away, you spurn this affection. This affection cannot be brought forward again. Stop working on them. That is a very real, very logical, very much honest thing you can do. Go to somebody of a real world religion. Act like you're interested for a little bit. And start getting them to do something for you. Then start pulling away. And go, I don't really care about your God too much, but I like that other stuff, you're doing. They're going to change a little bit. They're going to be a little bit different. Magnify that in a role-playing game, where there's not only that one God, and particularly in our culture, there's people, there's just one God. What God that is seems quite different from religious sect to religious sect. But that aside, there's that one. So there's not all that competition. Not really. Think of a D&D world where you might have 100 gods, or any sort of fantasy world where you might have 100 gods. How much each one of those gods want your prayers? What about these gods that are almost extinct? They're almost down there. So little worship, so little remembrance for that God, for his holy days, for his sacraments. They want worshipers. They want lay worshipers. They want clerics. They want people to be inspired by the miracles and piety of that cleric. And how much can you really push forward on the NPCs if you're not doing it right on the party right there as well? So think that and keep that in mind. And think about that if you're playing in a party with a cleric. Sell for them. Let's go. I worship the god of thieves. I am wrong. Your God is correct, is right, has shown love and favor for me. My God never did a damn thing for me. Your God through you has worked miracles upon my behalf, kept me alive. Of course I'm going to worship your God. Sell for a player like that and see if he doesn't think, God, you say, man, this guy, he would sell for me. He would put me over. He was wonderful. Key to making people think you're a great role player. Even if you suck, just sell your ass off for them. They will be happy. So, the cleric in D&D has gone through many permutations from the basic form that arrived. And for some reason, way back in the day, cleric could only use bludgeoning weapons. 3.0, they got rid of that. It never made sense to me. I was like, dude, I would so much rather have someone kill me with a long sword than with a mace or a warhammer. A long sword seemed like a much quicker, more merciful death than the slow, wheezing death of having your sternum crushed in and your ribs destroyed, punctured, lungs just, I'm dying from internal injuries over the course of the next 4 days. Some barbers over there sewing on your leg off. They seem like a much more grisly, brutal sort of death. I always said, man, that's supposed to be good and nice. Well, what about the guys that aren't good and nice? How the hell would they have that? That was always the really bad logic. Because no one could ever explain that, especially when the game master trying to take up and defend for the book. He's like, the gods should be nice. It's like, dude, I worship the god of evil. I worship the god of evil. Why does he want me to write that? Fucking no, man. Says you can just use bludgeoning weapons. That's what I'm going with. I got nothing for you here. I think that may be almost down to a mechanic of what single AD&D, one of the things I dislike the most. Made no sense. One of the things I like the most in AD&D, they had something called specialty priests. Specialty priests were amazing. It was like so many classes. You had specialty priest of Baal and Merkel and Bane. You kind of see the kind of priest I like to play. Of Monder, of Talos, of good aligned gods, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they had. But you had them in Legends of Lore. You had them in the Forgotten Realms book. Adventure. You had these concepts. Oh, I can play a priest of Heimdall. I can play a priest of Ra. I can play a paladin of Horus. Oh, these are great concepts. These are different. Each one has its own little class with different weapons, different armor they can use. Oh, it's absolutely amazing. I forgot all the Avatar and Legends of Lore, AD&D. I love those books. Those books are absolutely amazing. That was the highlight of AD&D. The best thing AD&D ever put out were specialty priests. I love the idea. Never been a fan of spell memorization in any form at all, but love the idea of specialty priests. The difference, the flavor, the role-playing idea you had for them, and they were very unbalanced from each other. You had one that's like, well, that one's unbelievably bad, and the one that's great. It's like, well, fuck it though. I got to go with the god I like. I don't want to worship Thor. I want to worship Heimdall because who doesn't worship Thor? That's or Tyr. God, even worse. I've seen more people worship Tyr in role playing games than any other deity. Tyr way the highest. I don't know. For you, I'll put that question for you in the comments. What is the god you've seen people worship the most in the role playing games? Interesting question, isn't it? For me, it's Tyr. A huge margin Tyr. I've seen it done well. Seen it interesting, but it's Tyr. Not anywhere near the most interesting or provocative god of Norse mythology, and I'm a big fan of Norse mythology. Tyr certainly a third tier god in my mind. That aside, the cleric has changed tremendously, and the flavor of saying, okay, well, you can only have the warhammer or the mace. Some game masters let you get away with a morning star, but it was also piercing. So sometimes you could have it, sometimes you couldn't have it. So you just had those with the basics. So when you change that with the specialty priest, with the 3.0, it changed the class around a lot. You have domains in 3.0, 3.5. I think they have in Pathfinder too. Domains were a very bad attempt at recreating specialty priests. They made one god of darkness and another god of darkness were pretty much the same thing. It's like, I have darkness and trickery as my domains. I do too. Pretty similar. The fact that they would have enough domains that you could have two priests. They would usually have maybe 4 domains, I think. Maybe someone would have 5. So you could have 2 priests that had completely different domains. Okay. The alignment-based ones are just terrible. I would have totally, that would have been a fight if I was on the creative team of 3.0. It would have been a fight. Get rid of this. It's ridiculous. The fact they give you a little ability on there was nice. The extra little ability they got, it's like, oh, you're a cleric, but you actually have hide on your class skill. Like, oh, okay, that's nice. Oh, you're a cleric, but you get, survival. I was like, oh, survival. Or maybe you get all knowledge. Like, oh, all knowledge. I can get with all knowledges. And then you got spells that went along with them. So they gave you a little bit of stuff, but it was such a far, pathetic, pale imitation of a specialty priest that I couldn't get with it at all. In fact, I don't think I've ever played the cleric class. The first character, I think the first character I played died before I had the second level. I'm trying to think. And this is 3.0. Yeah, I've either played a character that had 1 level of cleric, or I've never ever played the cleric class in 3.0, 3.5, or Pathfinder. I don't like the way it's constructed. I don't like spells, and then you can spontaneously trade out for healing spells. See my first comments about healbot. Yeah, I mean, that's not good. You can, if you had all the spontaneous casting, it'd be a little better. And then, set spells. The god of rogues should not have heavy armor. His clerics should not have heavy armor and shields. They shouldn't. They should have, different weapons. You get a cookery. And you can have hide, shadows, and moving silently. And you actually have 6 skill points a level and D6 for hit points. You're kind of like a rogue. You're more like a rogue priest. That would make more sense. But that takes up paper. That's the reason they did domains and stuff like that. Because it just takes up more paper to do that way. That's it. And in their books, they actually want to give you these stats for gods. The most fucking worthless. I would rather they just keep reprinting the Digester and the Acid Board Shark over and over again than ever give me stats for gods. It's completely irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. My players could fight gods, but they lose immediately. I've had a player fight a god one time. He lost to me because there were no die rolls or nothing like that. And he was instantly dead, complete, gone, no resurrection. And he knew all that. He understood all that going in. Because it's fucking ridiculous. In my mind, to be just a person fighting guys is ridiculous. It's just like a Call of Cthulhu game. But you don't fight Cthulhu. He just eats a certain number of you per round. 5 that round. 5 you're dead. There are only 4 of us playing. I guess we're done here. So, that is really important to think about when you're bringing the cleric class. Think about your God, think about your dogma, think about your church, think about how you interact with the lay people, how you proselytize. Those are the really important things about the cleric. It doesn't matter, if you have domains or you could turn zombies or things like that. Those should always come across as miracles. These are the power of my God through me. I have no power, but through my God, all things are possible. Think about that. And that is how we're going to revisit the cleric in Dungeons & Dragons.